Welcome to the Ackerman Group podcast. Let's dive deep into the industry insights of the multifamily, real estate investing, and property management world as we establish Ackerman Group at the forefront of industry change. Hi, and welcome to Ackerman Group, the podcast. We're here with Erin Thiel, our Associate Experience Manager, to talk about some of our benefits. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're super excited. Do you want to get into kind of what you do here and your role at Ackerman?
Sure. So I lead the HR department. Right now, I have a team of 3 other individuals. I have an HR administrator, a recruiting specialist, and then also a recruiting coordinator. So I focus on higher level strategic HR initiatives for the organization. And then on the recruiting side, I've got our 2 recruiters who take care of the full cycle recruitment and onboard all new associates.
That's super fun.
It is.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to jump right in and share some of insight into, how our benefits or our culture have evolved over the time of the course that you've been at Ackerman?
Sure. So when I started, we kind of had the generic, medical, dental, vision, the short-term disability, long-term disability. And so when I came, it was kind of, again, the basic package. However, as we kind of looking at what our associates really want or kind of digging into a little deeper on their feedback of offerings that they want to see from a benefits perspective, we really now are offering a more robust package. So a lot of the things that we're focusing on are now more of a holistic approach to benefits. So yes, while we do offer, medical, dental, and vision, we're really trying to dive deep into what other unique benefits that are of value to associates that we can offer. For example, I think about 2 years ago, we implemented a birthday PTO, which was really great. So everyone is allowed to take their birthday off. If it falls on the weekend, they can take it either the week before, the week after. But it's really a time to say, hey, this is your birthday, it's your special day. Take time off, take some time away from work, really celebrate you and be with family.
Yeah.
And so, one of the other kind of unique perks that we're offering is pet insurance that was just this year. So as we focus on that from a site perspective of Furry Friends as one of our program pillars, it really just made sense to offer that particular kind of coverage to our associates. Because what we're finding out is a lot of people have pets that are like their children and they love them, which is fantastic. And so offering pet insurance just seemed like a no-brainer kind of offering to kind of in line with our brand and our strategy,
Absolutely.
and to help, again, say, hey, we care about you even if if you have a furry child.
Yeah.
So it was a great perk, and that we actually have a lot of utilization on it. So we're really proud of that.
That's awesome. And I think those are really great. And they really do tie back into that mission, vision, guiding principles piece. Because I remember when I had my Friday birthday and it was a nice little 3-day weekend. Can't complain about that.
Yes.
The pets, especially at the age when you're not, having kids yet, having something to that effect is really nice.
Absolutely.
People
Absolutely.
see their pets as kids these days.
They do. They really,
Yeah.
truly do. And so
Mhm.
again, this is just another way to say, hey, we care about you from not only you as an individual, but also, your family unit, whatever that might look like, because
Mhm.
it's different for every individual.
Yeah. And, as we're implementing and making these changes, what kind of strategies are you using to make the employees aware as these policies are changing, as you're implementing these new benefits?
Yeah. So education is key. So what we've tried to formulate is we're trying to hit the different communication styles, whether it's in person, virtual, email communications, and things like that. So, right now, what we have is a monthly, we call it HR connection. So, in that connection, not only do we highlight birthdays and anniversaries for that month, but we also give some type of focus on a benefit related aspect, whether that's our employee assistance program, which is our EAP program, or hey, utilizing the teledoc option opposed to trying to make an appointment to go physically see your physician can definitely help not only from a cost perspective but time. Other things that we do are what we call benefit table sits, and so those are usually around the time of open enrollment, where we'll go to each of the different sites in each market, and we kind of will go over, sit down with people and say, hey, here's what's new for the upcoming benefit year. We highlight kind of high level of the offerings that we have, but that really gives them a time to ask questions if they feel comfortable. Not only if they can ask questions in front of a group, but it also gives them the opportunity to ask questions to either myself or our benefits broker on a one-on-one case basis. So,
Mhm.
some associates don't feel comfortable asking me questions about their benefits or their personal lives. So having our benefits broker there as kind of an outside party, I feel like helps make them feel more comfortable. But again, we've had really great reviews on that is definitely beneficial for associates. They love that. They love the connection. So we'll continue with that with each year. And then every time we have onboarding, so every 6 weeks when we onboard our new associates, we take time during that piece to really dive deep into the benefits. So I go over a full explanation of everything we offer, so that they can ask questions. They're getting all the education that they need to understand the benefit elections and make choices that are going to make sense for themselves and their family members.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know we touched on this a little bit with pet insurance and program pillars, but what ways are we connecting our mission and vision with the benefits that we're offering?
Yeah, so a lot of our mission and vision is really based upon trying to, you know, build the community together or to bring kind of cultivate those relationships. And so, again, as we focus on trying to look at benefits at what makes sense for our organization, we really say, okay, are there things that we should be focusing on from a global perspective? And so, what we're doing now from a benefit standpoint is we're having these conversations a lot earlier in the year of saying, hey, what kind of enhancements do we want to make? What makes sense? We're putting cost analysis to those different type of things, and we start with those strategy sessions based upon some of the feedback that we might have received from associates. So, there's two major surveys I would say that we're going to do throughout the year. One is the engagement survey that we're going to do on an annual basis. And then we're also going to do a benefit survey that we're probably going to do every other year. But it's really collecting the feedback on what's valuable to them. Because us internally, well, yes, we can say, hey, we think, A, B, and C benefits are, great for our associates. We really want to get their feedback. Like we might think one thing when in essence it could be something vastly different. And so it's really important for us to collect that feedback from them on what they find valuable, review that and say, hey, is this something that we can implement into, our benefits program?
Mhm.
So again, we're having those conversations a lot earlier in the year so that as we get time for, ready for open enrollment and once our renewal comes in, we've got a really great strategy moving in, because the end of the year can be very hectic. It's very time crunched. And that's just how the industry is. So we're trying to kind of work backwards and saying, okay, we understand that there's going to be this need for immediate movement on decisions at the end of the year. So we're trying to have these conversations a lot earlier to say, okay, going in to the open enrollment or the renewal season, we have some ideas on what kind of strategies we want to implement. So that means benefit enhancements, also the cost analysis for our associates. So very
Yeah,
important.
nice. And so, how do you go about collecting this feedback from the associates in order to implement these changes?
Yeah, great question. So we really do two, like I mentioned before, we really do two main surveys, if you will, to collect feedback that we ask from anyone in the company. One is our engagement survey that is done that's done every year. Very important for us. So we ask a wide variety of questions. However, organically through the feedback, we do get some comments related to types of benefits or different things that they want to see from that perspective. So we get a lot of great feedback from our associates during the engagement survey. And right now I think participation is great. It increases every year, which is absolutely great as well. And then the other survey that we are doing is an every other year survey, which is benefit specific. So we're asking the questions of, for example, we've got the benefits now. How would you relate or how would you correlate them into what's most important to you? And then we also open it up for any additional feedback that they want to offer as far as types of benefits they want to see or thoughts, of how we can maybe tweak some different things. So again, it's really kind of all approaching what they're finding value in, and making sure that we're introducing that somehow into, our benefit offerings.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. I know we've touched really heavily on kind of that benefit piece, but what role does the HR team play in cultivating that culture piece, and how are we measuring success in those areas?
Yeah, so cultures, when people think of culture, they kind of automatically go to HR and say, okay, create this great culture. But really, while yes, HR does play, I feel like a large role in it. It's really, there's many players in trying to create this robust culture. And if it all starts from kind of like the top down, and we need to make sure that what we're doing is aligning with our guiding principles. It stands with our mission and our vision. And so, from an HR perspective, again, the feedback is definitely very important, but it's also looking at, okay, well, how are we treating people during onboarding? Are there things that we're doing throughout the year that is making a valuable impact from an engagement perspective? So, for example, my team were in charge of facilitating a lot of events that happen throughout the year. So, for example, Kings Island Day, it's a family day. We give everyone the day paid. It usually falls on a Friday in June. So when kids are out of school, but again, anyone that attends, it's a free day paid. You come, you have lunch at Kings Island, and then you're off to go do whatever you want for the rest of the day with your family. Some of the other things that we do to kind of create that sense of, or that culture of engagement, would be we have market specific baseball games. So it's a time for the associate and their significant other or a plus one to kind of come out, just have fun, be together, celebrate. So those are really well attended. Again, we have one of those in each market. We've got a day of service that usually happens in the December timeframe. So it's volunteering. Again, each market they get to take the day, they volunteer. It makes a great impact because they love doing it. Plus, it
Mhm.
makes a positive impact for our community. So it's little things like that again, we try to say, hey, we all work hard, but we also want to have fun. And so that's really the perspective, is to kind of help keep that balance of, you're working hard during the year. What can we do to keep you engaged, keep you feeling like you're a valuable member of the team? And I think doing all of those things combines to make a really great culture.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
mhm.
Looking ahead, what are you kind of seeing for the future as far as new initiatives?
Yeah, so we have this great initiative that we really focused on, I would say, this year, but we've kind of tossed around this idea the past couple of years. Is this employer of choice initiative? So we're really focusing on being an employer that people want to come to work at, and that how we, the people that are staying for longer periods of time. So we're really increasing our retention. And so with the employer of choice initiative, we're kind of looking at that from several different pieces. We're looking at that from a benefits and compensation standpoint. We're looking at that from a culture standpoint, engagement, different things like that. So, again, while HR has a heavy focus in trying to implement or, move forward some of the strategy in the employer of choice, it really is a main focus of all leadership to say, okay, are we doing what's right? Are we doing what makes sense? Are we offering competitive wages to where, people aren't living paycheck to paycheck, but they're living comfortably? Are we offering benefits that are of value to them and their family? And again,
Mhm.
are we creating a culture that is engaging, fun, safe, and just being a place where they want to work? We don't want people to, dread coming into work every day. We want to make it that a
Absolutely.
fun, engaging culture,
Yeah.
an environment. And so again, we're doing several different initiatives focused completely on that employer of choice
Yeah,
initiative.
that's amazing. I think that really holistic view is super important,
Absolutely.
hitting everything under the umbrella. But thank you so much for being here today.
Yes.
Really
Thank you
enjoyed
for
our
having me.
conversation. Yeah, thank you.